Early autumn, Odokh to Lycaron. I am writing from Lycaron. I left Atun's tribe near the gates of Odokh and joined an imperial caravan heading westward. It is good to be back in my homeland. When we first caught sight of the waters of Lake Tanaisis, my heart leapt. And when I saw my first faded double-eagled banner on top of a ramshackle watchtower, I felt like weeping and kissing the ground. It was harvesting season, and the fields were full of farmers gathering in the grain, and on the hillsides they had begun the picking of grapes for wine. We spent a week travelling westward, and in every village I gorged myself. Honey cheese flat cakes for breakfast, figs for lunch, and sausages with barley malt for dinner. At last we caught sight of the Ornian Rock and Lycaron. I had never imagined that fortress town with its towers and its sharp crags above and the vultures circling overhead could ever look welcoming, but somehow it did. Istiana's agent there, the Dr. Takteos, was a very considerate host, but clearly short of money. He talked a bit about his woes. Even the most skilled physician fails to cure many of his patients, he said, and one of the town's patriarchs had died under his knife a year or so back. The patient's bereaved relatives, helped by Takteos's jealous competitors, set about attacking the doctor's reputation, and he did not have the energy to defend himself. Instead of treating those who can afford to pay a doctor's usual fees, Takteos said he wanders from village to village. The poor cannot pay much, but being used to having their ailments ignored by the learned, are grateful for what they get. During my stay in Lycaron, the town was abuzz with preparations for war. Ragaya's forces had recovered somewhat from their defeat at Hussenfolk, and her ally Faron was preparing a new force to go out and do battle with Garius's troops. Takteos watched them sadly. He liked Ragaya personally, he said, but he did not expect that the empire could ever be made whole again. There had been too many civil wars. It was if, he said, two old friends had quarreled and said cruel things to each other that could never be unsaid. It was time for the empire to be replaced by a younger, uncorrupted people, with fewer bad memories and festering wounds. I would hardly call a people such as the Battanians or the Asarai young, let alone uncorrupted, but I did not contradict him there. I related to him Istiana's philosophy, that any kingdom that replaced the Calradians would make the same mistakes, and it was better to have an old empire whose crimes of conquest were in the past than a new empire whose crimes of conquest were in the future. Takteos disagreed. He brought babies into the world, he said, knowing that they would suffer, that many would turn to evil and few to good, and yet the knowledge that each would experience the world with fresh eyes and hopes gave him joy. Some people find it sad that dynasties rise and fall in a never-ending cycle, and that peace always gives way to discord and discord to bloodshed. But Takteos said he would have it no other way. I have heard these sentiments expressed by warriors who fear that long-lasting peace will deny them the chance to do great deeds, but it was strange to hear it from a man of medicine.